Recorded by JP for the Poetry of JP. In this poem, we explore the border of myth. With this poem, I try to look at etymology of the word apple. I take us back to the early Middle Ages when the word apple referred broadly to any round fruit, tuber, etc. that happened to grow. In this poem, I've decided to go with the Proto-Germanic spelling, as it was at the time. Doing so, I think, makes sense in terms of the poem. In the poem, I have used apple where I'm speaking of a modern apple. I'm not sure of this decision. Maybe it would have been better off if I left the confusion in the poem. I do not know. To modernize, we define fruits and vegetables mostly with a scientific logic, the tomato excluded. This was not the case back then. So a reading of the bits about Eve and the apple changes significantly. I have further explored proto-ideas given to us by shamans in this poem. To the shaman, human knowledge was, and always had been, passed down through mushrooms. Of great mention is the fly agaric mushroom, a round-looking red-spotted mushroom. The mythologies of forest and earth-based peoples are very clear, believing in one form or another that psychedelic mushrooms or psychedelically active plants had knowledge contained within them. In the poem, I explore the idea of this and the fact that mushrooms themselves were known as earth apples. And this reality is not limited to this language or those time periods. What an apple is and what it was simply are not the same thing. This changes a lot about our reading of ideas like mythologies of apples and mushroom knowledge. The poem is attempting to say that since all of this is so, it was likely a mushroom in the Garden of Eden that was eaten, that the shamans remembered it to be so, and that the poison may not be in the knowledge, but rather in the forgetting. I was fascinated for a minute with this topic, so I wrote this poem a year ago. The poem has now been rewritten, and I feel improved. Now I ask, if this could be forgotten, and language so confused, what else could be missing simply because apples are not apples, and we are not informed? Please enjoy the poem. This is The Plant Teacher by JP. If I look at an apple and smoke with a shaman who plucks with bended knee the apple of much study, I know that myth has always been twisted since it was picked from Eden's boundary. If I look at an apple red, I know that our knowledge was never from a tree. When I look at its shape and call it by name, it's no longer an apple. I see that love apples are tomatoes and golden apples are orange. I see that a potato is an earth apple where time has taken its birthright. If I look at Snow White, I know that she sleeps now because of a poison that's not found in a tree. Now I know that apples are not apples when concerned with history, that knowledge was not the poison that led us from the gate. If I look at an apple red and sit with bended knee, and pluck with timid fingers the fly agaric, the mushroom apple, that gave to us knowledge when all was mystery, then I know that the poison comes with the act of forgetting all the different apples that came before the tree. Plant Teacher by JP.